Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm finally going to be doing a review for episode 12 of season 2 of Scream, When a Stranger Calls. Yeah, very fast. I hope they continue with this kind of theme for season 3, where they kind of name it after popular movies, because you have When a Stranger Calls, Heavenly Creatures, Psycho, Village of the Damned, Dawn of the Dead, Happy Birthday to Me, Vacancy. I know what you did last summer. I hope they, Jeepers Creepers, Let the Right One In, Orphanage, Vanishing, Heavenly Creatures. So I hope they kind of continue on with that trend for season 3 very fast. So yeah, 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those who have yet to actually watch this episode and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. I don't know, I just felt like I need to stretch. So yeah, 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually watch, the episode and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that I never gave you a fair warning, because as usual, I did. So as usual, quick synopsis, like statistics, and then the rates. So in this episode, we finally get to find out who the Lakewood Killer is for this season. You have Audrey and Emma who are on the run from the killer, basically throughout the whole episode. Eventually they call up Brooke and Noah and Kieran to defend the movie theater they're in, and they're basically there. And after a while, Audrey and Emma, well, first off, they're all in this movie theater trying to defend. They kind of have a sensation that the killer may be close, or he's probably in the theater. That's kind of backed up with the fact that there's a movie projector kind of projecting all the deaths, Jake and the mayor and everybody. So there's that. And then all of a sudden the killer kind of comes out of nowhere and just stabs Brooke, and that basically takes out my theory that Brooke was the killer the whole time. So eventually we get to this abandoned warehouse. Audrey is gone. Nobody knows where the fuck Audrey went. She was probably kidnapped. So you have Emma who's basically you have Emma who's looking for the killer. Turns out that the killer is Kieran. They kill Eli in the process. He kind of, apparently they're in this warehouse. Eli comes in to investigate, gets jumped by Kieran, and he stabs Eli in the stomach. Eli pretends to die, then kind of comes up behind Kieran saying, hey, he's the killer, not me. And in kind of that confrontation, Eli dies. And Eli dies. Emma shoots him first. He manages to survive that. And after it's revealed that Kieran is the killer, he kills Eli at the very end. And then we have this altercation between Emma and Audrey. Audrey at this point escapes from her captor, which is Kieran. She eventually escapes, so now you have Emma and Audrey versus Kieran. And then when in jail, Kieran gets a phone call from his lawyer. Come to find out that the call is from another killer, or who the fuck knows who it is. Many people saying it's Brandon James, maybe, because it says hello Kieran, or the caller says hello Kieran, who told you could wear my mask. Kieran is surprised, to say the least, and people are now wondering whether Brandon James is alive or dead, or what the fuck's wrong with him. Okay, I don't know how to feel about this. Now many people were speculating, even from season 1, okay, this is something from season 1, that Kieran was a killer. Now, it's one of those things. First off, is it predictable? That's the first question. And in a sense, yes. Now, although I did say Brooke for the longest time, to like halfway through this episode, I always thought, had the inclination, or I always suspected that Kieran could be one of the possible killers. Now, whereas the previous season, because I didn't know that much about the Scream series or franchise or whatever, I didn't really suspect Piper that much, so that one was a bit of a surprise. However, here, Kieran, it makes sense for Kieran to be the killer. However, aside from it being predictable, somewhat predictable, my major issue is just the reveal of how it is. And I don't know if it's bad written. I don't know if the reveal itself is just badly written, or just so it's, how do I say this? I don't know if it's just, the greatest writing ever, and I'm just too dumb to think about it, or some shit like that, or like I'm just too dumb to understand it, or if it's just badly written. But basically, Kieran says after Emma shoots Eli the first time, right before Eli dies, because Kieran shoots Eli to death. But yeah, right after Emma shoots Eli, Kieran says, towards Emma and Audrey, hey, everything will be fine, or some shit like that. Everything will be fine again. Or he uses the word again specifically in that sentence. Emma kind of gets triggered by this of all things and says again. What do you mean again? What do you mean I'll be fine again? Only the killer says that. Are you the killer? And Kieran just kind of turns into like this psychopath. Like he starts laughing, and it's one of those things. I've seen people say, "Oh, Kieran is such a bland as fuck character. Like he is bland. He is boring." And him being the killer, I mean, sure, obvious, but it just kind of gave him a new layer, personality wise. And it's one of those things. Part of me wants to agree with, and the other part of me wants to disagree. Because I like Kieran. Up until now, up until the reveal, he wasn't the best written character. Fuck no, he wasn't. But he was an okay written character. It was a decent written character. Decent enough. And they gave us enough information, I suppose, or enough inclinations to suspect him as a killer. So when the reveal was made, it was interesting and like, oh, that's another part of him. That's great character development. But I just feel like the reveal was, I don't know if it's just so sloppy that it's terrible, or it's just so great, and for some reason I just don't understand it. It just kind of, and I don't know if that has to do also in part with the fact that it is a bit predictable. I just don't like the reveal. I like the showdown between Emma, Audrey, and Kieran. I like that showdown. I really like that showdown, but I just don't like the reveal specifically. I just kind of have like this hate-love relationship with the reveal, because in one part it makes sense for Kieran to be the killer, with all the evidence or whatever. And I do like the way how they even set it up. Like, yeah, I was sleeping with their demented stepsister or some shit like that, or half sister or whatever. Like, that was a good line. But at the same time, like, it was predictable. So yeah, and just to review, like, the way he, like, sure, like, the actor, I forget his name right now, but, he could interpret the character however he wants, but, like, that laugh, goddamn, holy shit, and hell no. I did, like, sure, like, go psychotic, but that laugh did not work for me, and I think that's part of the issue. So, yeah, just to reveal the thing that kind of bothers me, to be honest. It makes sense, I mean, the fact that Kieran is the killer, predictable, but it makes sense, and I guess I like it. It's just the reveal itself is what I don't like, per se. And yeah, everything else, Brooke getting stabbed and her healing up, that was great. You have a time skip towards the end of about 2 months, and you have Noah saying on the podcast that it turns out that the Kieran not the killer was one of the Lakewood Six and sex or some shit like that. It was pretty good. I mean, yeah, everything after that was pretty good. Everything about it, just the reveal itself, it's just like, I don't know, it's just to reveal itself. And it's one of those things, and I've watched it a couple times, and I still don't know how to feel. Like, sometimes when I'm watching it, I like it. Sometimes when I'm watching it, I just don't like it. So I'm really flipped, I guess, on the actual reveal. And yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's just a reveal that kind of bugs me. Like, the reveal itself, and how, Emma found out, either she's incredibly smart, or that is just some incredibly lazy ass writing, or both. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10. What are your thoughts on the reveal specifically? What are your thoughts on the reveal specifically? What are your thoughts on it? Comment all that down below. Let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And yeah, and before I end, apparently they have this thing called Scream After Dark, which is like a talk show after the Scream show, like, so kind of like Talking Dead for The Walking Dead. Like a talk show right after. So I guess they have that. I knew about it, but I never really bothered to watch it. It has abysmal ratings, viewership, but then again, so does Scream. Then again, MTV isn't the most popular TV network. But besides the point, on the talk show for the last episode of season 2, they said they're gonna have a Halloween special. So yeah, right now it says so it's gonna be on Halloween, October 31st. So that's gonna be, what day is that? Next month on a Monday. So yeah, wow, that actually fits perfectly. Because I believe every other episode here was released on a Tuesday, so I guess that kind of makes sense. I guess, right? Who knows? Let's see. The last episode came out August 16th. And that is a Tuesday, and August 9th. Yeah, Tuesday, Monday, whatever. Still Halloween. Probably would have been better if it was on Tuesday, but whatever. Halloween night. It's a 2-hour special. 2-hour special is given with the the commercials. It's probably gonna be like an hour and a half. Probably an hour and a half. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool to see. And apparently it's gonna be I'm I'm reading the thing here. I'm just gonna quote the Wikipedia page. During the third installment of Scream After Dark, it was announced that Scream would return on October 2016 for a 2-hour Halloween special. Commercials included, probably an hour and a half. Shortly after the announcement, an exclusive sneak peek was posted on Twitter. I'm gonna check that out right now. Probably do a video on that on itself. Showing an apparent new killer paying a visit on Kieran, insinuating the special would pick up after the events of the second season finale. MTV has yet to announce an official synopsis. Okay, so it's probably gonna come back right after that 2-month time skip they had during like the last 5 minutes of the last episode. Okay, pretty cool. Yeah, there's another video I'm gonna do for Scream. Yay. That came out so obnoxious. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Again, subscribe, comment down below, like the video, show on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.